Hi guys, Aka here. So, I'm finally at the point where I can unlock K40 and some T15s, which is awesome. But I'll tell you, it's been a long grind to get to this point. And I'm making this video for anyone that is still planning to push for K40 and T15s. Because if you don't plan for it properly, it can actually really mess you up. Now, some of you watching this video would have already made that push to K40 and you already have T15s, in which case, that's awesome. It would be great if you could share some of your experiences down in the comments so that people that are yet to make that push will be able to benefit from the knowledge that you have. Now, I actually loaded up the upgrade for K40 a while ago, okay? And I covered it in this video. Now, here's the funny thing. This video was published towards the end of April. This is October. So that's about 6 months. And within that time, basically what I did was to get the rest of my military buildings up to the level where I can unlock T15s. So right now, my ground is at 39, ready to go to 40. My calves are also at 39, and my archers are at 39. My siege is currently at 37, but that's just because siege is a lot harder to unlock. So I spent that time, basically prepping for this push. Now, for anyone that is looking to get to K40 and T15s, here is the important bits that you need to know. This is the requirements that you need to unlock T15s. So that's close to about 70 billion each, with the exception of food. And you can see how much time is required there. This is a lot, okay? It's basically the same thing as you loading up K40 upgrade again. And of course, this doesn't cover all the resources and speed ups that you need to get to this point where you can actually push into getting the T15s. Now, to put some perspective around this, if we come to the pack, okay, so in the $100 pack in the optional chest, you can get for all resources about 700 million in each pack. Now, if you use the triple down, that would be 2.1 billion each. And if you run the math, if you were solely coining for this alone, that would cost you over $3,000. Now, this is a very rough and generous estimate. Hardly anyone is gonna spend entirely to get to this point. You have boss monsters that you'll be running, plus you get all the extra benefits and resources and stuff that you get from coining. So in reality, it would actually cost you a lot less than this. It would cost you even less if you were using something like the Amazon App Store, who are kindly sponsoring this video. With the App Store, you could save up to about 25% depending on how much you're spending. All the links and stuff that you need for the Amazon App Store are down in the description of this video, or you can use the QR code that you see on the screen. Now, if you're interested in this offer is still gonna be around for a while. So if you can get it set up and running, that will be great for when you are actually ready to coin, that you're good to go. Now that we've gone through some of the requirements and stuff that you actually need to make this upgrade to get your T15s, let's talk about some ways that you can make this process a bit less painful and go smoother for you. Now, these are all things that I did as well to get to this point. So there are practical things that you can do. The first one is, as you'd expect, you need to be on the grind. No question about it. Okay, you need to be hitting those bosses, you need to be getting speed ups. Now, for bosses, hitting, the regular event bosses for resources, yimmers, witches, all that kind of stuff is all fine and good. But you also need to make sure that you are getting speed ups as well. Because the speed up requirement for this thing is actually crazy. If you look at the resource consumption event, even if you manage to clear it all the way to the 20B for each of the resources, what you're going to get in total is going to be round about 6,000 days worth of speed ups. If you look at the requirements here, there's 18,000. So without any reduction or anything in the construction time, you're looking at completing the resource consumption event at least 3 times to get enough speed ups for this. Of course, that's a very long grind. So you want to make sure that you are hitting bosses that will give you speed ups. So you want to make sure that you're hitting, Kerberuses or Cerberuses, whichever way you want to pronounce it, to ensure that you're getting a lot of speed ups to help you out. And of course, you need to manage that with the resource bosses as well. So that's a bit of forward thinking that you need to have. And then, of course, family members, alts, okay? You need to have those, and you need to make sure that they are functional and actually pulling in the resources that you need. So whether you're going to be sending them out together or whether you're going to be getting them to join rallies to get resources, you need to have them actually running as much as possible. Now, of course, with the new family group feature, that might give you a bit of confidence to be able to use alts. I wouldn't say that you should have like a whole army of alts because, you all know how we feel about that. But having like 2 or 3 would definitely help you in this process. Now, the next thing that you really need to focus on, and this is the part that a lot of people don't talk about, is you need to focus on getting your construction speed down. Okay? That is crucial, right? So, few things that you can do for that. You need your keep duty officer. Okay? Yeah, I know some people would rather go with like the PvP options, but when you're trying to push these buildings for K40 and stuff, you really need someone that gives you that construction speed. Okay, I have Menshikov fully maxed out, so I'm getting that benefit there. The other thing that you need to make sure that you can do is your victory column, right? I know that it's a bit difficult when you're trying to save up resources for these buildings, but you need to make sure that you can push your victory column as far as reasonably possible. The boost to your construction speed that you're going to get is pretty significant. Right now, my victory column is at level 4, and I'm getting 20% reduction in construction time. So yeah, you need to make sure that you do that. Another thing that you can do, the spirit beasts, okay? Some of the seals that you have give you a reduction in construction speed. So if we take something like this seal here, for example, you can get a bit of a boost in construction speed. Granted, it might not be that much, and you also have to coordinate it to make sure that it's matching up with a buff that you actually want. But all in all, by the time you've done your spirit beast here, you can get an easy 10 or 20% reduction in your construction speed just by doing these alone. Then, of course, you need your monarch gear. Right now, at this level, you should really not have anything less than a level 9 crown. If you can push it higher than that, then that's great. But getting above 9 for people that don't spend a lot is very difficult. So make sure that your construction crown is at least level 9. And then, of course, the big one, your sub-cities. As much as possible, you want to make sure that you have European sub-cities to do this. Now, this is how much the time that I have on the building is. Okay, so I'm going to switch my culture so that we can see what that reduction in time is going to be. Okay, so I've switched my culture to Europe, and you can see my main sub-city there is European now, and let's see what the time reduction is. Okay, so it shaved off close to 600 days off the time for this building, which is very significant when you think about it. So what you need to do, as much as possible, you need to stack up European cities for your subs. If you can get gold cities, that'll be best. And then you just load them up in all your sub slots and then come back to do the construction. Now, I know that this process is actually kind of tedious, but when you consider the reduction that you're possibly looking at, it is kind of worth it. So I would recommend that you do that if you can stomach the tediousness. Ask your friends, ask people on your server for anyone that can loan you a European sub, gold preferably. But even if you just stacked up with blue or purple European subs, it would still make a significant difference in reducing your construction time. And look, anything that can make this process easier for you, I think is worth it, because it is a tough grind. Now, I'm sure that there will be other tips and tricks that people will have for reducing construction time. Please feel free to share them in the comments. The more knowledge that we have on this, the more we'll be able to help people out. So please feel free to share. Now, one other important thing that I haven't yet mentioned is Evony's Rally Bot. Okay? The inbots that I call it. In my opinion, this is probably one of the best features that Evony have rolled out this year. And if you are grinding to get to K40 and T15s, and you don't mind spending a little bit to get this, I would highly recommend that you do that. It will make things a lot easier for you with putting together the resources and speed ups that you need. If you can, get these on your family members as well. That would help you out a lot. So for those of you that are looking to get it or that already have it, it is important that you make sure that it's set up properly. Okay? You want to make sure that you are using your double drop generals, and you want to make sure that you're setting it up so that you're not just joining random useless rallies. Now, to help you with that, we have this video here where I've gone through step by step how to set up the inbot so that you can maximize the benefits that you get from it. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. Okay, that's it for me, guys. Thank you very much. Aka signing out.